It's hashtag Friday Feels, and we all need a little direction in our lives. We've got the positively psychic medium with us, Mark Christopher. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. You guys love the energy here.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, thank you so much. So, how did you become the positive psychic medium? What was your journey to this?
well, it started out, I was just minding my own business, you know, kind of living life, working as a writer. And then all of a sudden, I started to hear a voice, and I said, okay, am I having a schizophrenic experience? Or what is this? And so I started to develop it. I started to listen, and I realized that, okay, I'm getting messages from people. And so I said, all right, I got to go somewhere where I don't know anybody. And I went into a psychic bookstore, and I think I'm psychic. Because this is not like you take a correspondence class.
Right.
You know,
Where do you go?
You just, I like, all right, I'll find my way in the dark. And so I ended up reading for this manager of this little store. And she goes, that's very good. I mean, I got all these weird things like, you have a son, and I think he was beat up, and your dad's taking care of him. And she's like, yes, that's accurate. Wow. Okay, so it went from that to where I started to read for people, to where I showed up for a cattle call for psychics on a pilot for Fox. I ended up being on a pilot for Fox where they interviewed 200 psychic mediums. I ended up being the guy that one of the 6 on the show, and I ended up being named most gifted. And then from there, I just keep showing up places.
Wow.
So
okay, we can't help it. So if we want to get readings, of course, every time we don't want to hear about the psychic, we want to know about us.
Not you. Let's talk about you.
This is so amazing.
Before you get to the reading, so is there anything when somebody comes to a psychic for a reading they should do to prepare or that they should know in advance?
Great question. The first thing I would say is that I have people that are calling me up. I mean, I literally read for clients from Ireland to Indonesia, to Mexico, to Canada. I mean, all around. And so it's like, don't be walking your dog when we're doing a reading.
Might want to pay attention.
It's like, be a little focused, be a little present. I mean, and isn't that really the thing in relationships?
Oh my goodness, in all of life.
Be present, be there. And so it's like, I don't need them to do a lot. I mean, I'm mostly listening to who's here for them as opposed to them.
And that's part of your expertise. Who's here, who's from the other side, who wants to communicate, right?
Yes.
Who typically is that?
If you have a grandpa, if you had a friend who passed in high school, if you have, dogs show up. I mean, it's like, I get things, it's like as silly as like, there's a little yellow dog here for you. But then it's a touch point for other things. And so I'm more like the radio. I'm just turning the knob, going, okay, got one, okay, got this. But it really can be anybody who's here who cares about you, who wants to know, they want to help you. And that's one of the things too. It's like, it's really good to know that we all have help the other side if we're open and aware of it.
Are most of the messages for other people or for you too?
I'm the worst person in the world to read for. Myself and my wife. It's just like, but it's people that I don't know that I can come in and sit down and just be very open and say, okay, this is what I'm getting, this is what I'm hearing, this is how this message is important to you. And there's things that like, I don't get what I'm saying half the time. It's like, all right, like I read for a lady last night, and it's like, first thing I heard was park it. Don't go anywhere, park it. And it's like, that seems obscure. She goes, that's exactly what I needed to know. Should I be moving? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? And then it's like, also, stick up for yourself, stick up for yourself. And I just broke off a relationship. And then it became more relevant. In fact, before people call me for a reading, I'll sit down and I meditate really 20 minutes. I kind of clear my head. Then I say, who's here for you? And then I start scribbling. And I start writing this. And so when they call, it's like, I've done the reading in part. And then I almost forget, okay, did you tell me this? It's in my notes. And then I just start going.
Wow.
So it's fun and it's really interesting.
Oh my goodness. Do Erin.
It's been interesting. We have had quite a few psychics and mediums on the show, and it is pretty profound. I think they really say very similar things to us. So clearly there is some common denominator of everything going on.
Well, I mean, the idea is that I don't want to get into all quantum mechanics. That isn't what it's about today. But I mean, the idea that there's certain constants that occur. That we all have things that we. I'm listening for people who are on the other side here for you or whoever I'm reading, and that doesn't change. I mean, there are certain things that don't change. Also, too, it's like no matter if they're wealthy, if they're big producers, if they're captains of industry, or someone who's working wherever, they all want to know Does he love me? Does she love me? I mean, no matter what. It's like, it's like I'm talking
they
about,
the
like,
one?
yeah, it's like, that, is she going to call me? It says, yes, she's going to call you. You're
That's-
fine.
Wow.
Everything is fine.
Okay, so
Stop.
let's do these readings. Start, Jazz. Come on, let's do this.
Okay, well, can I hold something that you wear? Like a little
Sure.
ring. Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. This is called psychometry. Okay. The first thing I'm hearing is like back off a little bit. Like if someone is coming to you, I want you to be really kind of cautious with how you proceed next step relationship. It's almost like I'm seeing it's like I want you to protect yourself. That's what I'm hearing. Protect yourself. Be a little bit careful about being too vulnerable. Also, and it isn't about being in danger, but it's like don't let the wrong person kind of step in and try to. It's like someone wants to take over your life almost, and just like let's go slow. Don't let them they have plans for you, but you have to have your plans first. So don't let them start calling too many things for you. It's like, okay, let's slow down. I have a plan. I have an idea too. So that would be how I would ask you to look at relationship. Okay, don't. It's almost like they're almost like not listening. It's like, okay, you're where I want you to be, and they're not listening. But hey, I had something I had in mind too. So be very careful about saying this is what I want. These are my needs. This is what I want. All right. So it's almost like a boundary set, and then to be really clear about, okay, well we can do this, but you're just making assumptions about me, and don't let people make assumptions. All right.
That's very powerful. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure. So, we don't. I don't know what our time is, but I mean,
Do you want a ring?
ring would be great.
Okay, I've worn this ring for a few years now, every day
Okay.
of my life.
Okay. All right. First thing I see with you, I feel like you're like a little duck in a shooting gallery, and everyone is like, a little piece. I want 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 a little piece. And it's like, I would say that. Well, one thing I would say is that there is a lot of love connected to you in terms of relationship. I feel like that you've got a lot of grounding. So I feel like that how can I say this? As much as like you're a very lovely lady, you're doing a lot of things, but I feel like that there's a real basic grounding to who you are and what you do. And so that seems to maintain you through a lot of the people wanting a little bit of you, So I would say, if anything, I know we're trying to reach a lot of people, but I would just ask you to be very careful about how you use your energy, and if anything, start focusing down a little bit, maybe pulling back a little bit, but not to do less, but to do more of what you want to do. Okay. And I get this thing too, it's like be on the lookout for someone who just wants to come over and hang out and crash. It's almost like you've got a friend or two that's like, all right,
Lots of them.
people crashing, they want to crash. And I would say it's fun, but it's like, okay, make sure you set like some boundaries on them, okay? All right, but I mean, loving relationship, that's what this feels like around you, okay? So I would say, I don't have any I would call them watch outs. I'm not seeing any watch outs for you. So the one thing I am getting is I feel like there's like this something of an overpowering guy, and I don't mean you.
Oh,
Not-
so I'm
okay,
the-
no.
hopefully.
But I feel like there's someone that wants to kind of like edit you over your shoulder a little bit.
I don't have anybody.
Think about that one.
But look out for that.
Well, no, but what it
Yeah.
looks like is that sometimes it's coming up. So it's almost like someone wants to lean over and point and tell you how to manage or do. So I'd ask you to just be a little bit conscious. Okay, good intentions aren't enough. You have to be a little circumspect.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
All right. Okay. The first thing I'm getting with you is I feel like I'm seeing you here, but then I'm seeing you getting on a plane and going.
Huh.
Okay? Getting on a plane and going, and it's almost like you've got, I don't know if you're on both coasts, or I'm just seeing
It
you.
was for a while.
Okay, well, I'm seeing this like you're here, but then you're just going to be getting on a plane maybe sooner than you expect. All right? The other thing that's going to be a focus for you is I'm going to ask you to be available to do more writing and writing your thoughts, getting your stuff on paper. It's get the words on paper. Get the words on paper. And I feel like as much as you're obviously very easy in front of the camera and you can talk, I feel like your ability to like put the words together and to create the story is going to be better for you in the long run. All right. So also too, in terms of, I feel like work comes a little bit before relationship.
Yes. But yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't mean that you're just going to be this, guy off in a room all by himself. But it just feels like the work that you're going to do next is going to take you to a place where you do finally meet that person that you want to be with it, right? And it just feels like, I feel like I'm seeing you like out partying, doing things, you're out having fun. But I feel like that it's almost like I'm seeing you get on a plane and it's like, if you're not going to New York, it's like someplace where there's like bridges, like, somewhere. So look, I don't know if you end up going to New York much or needing to go there, but I just feel like that you're going to find yourself like, I'm out of my element and that's cool and I'm having fun. But get the words down, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
My mom's going to love you for that. You've been telling me that for years now. Just write it already.
No, but
Yeah.
it's true. It just feels like, I mean, it's so easy for you to do what you're doing. But if you can kind of say, okay, I'm going to back off and do a little bit of a focus here.
I love this. Where can
Thank you.
people find you online?
Okay, you can find me at Mark Nelson Medium. I'm also going to be appearing at the Scottsdale Soul Summit. And I have a new podcast, Brave Misunderstandings.
Whoa.
And
That's great.
Yeah.
Clever.
That's great, very clever.
All right. And David Oman House next Thursday night. It's on Cielo Drive. It has to do with that movie, Once Upon a Time
Yes.
in Hollywood.
Oh,
nice.
fantastic.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you
I'm all over
so
the
much.
place.
Thank you
very
so much.
Incredible.
We're Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. All of today's interviews are available as a podcast on iTunes, and the whole show is streaming on EverTalk TV on Apple TV and Roku.
That's right. We are waking up the world together. You guys have a great Friday. Enjoy yourself and have a great weekend.
Check them out.
Thank you.